deliberation to suspend seating for an initial period of 2 weeks.
This, he says, is a preventive measure considering the alarming spread of the coronavirus. TVC News judiciary correspondent Celestina Ira paid a visit to the various courts in Abuja to check the level of compliance.
It is the first day after the Chief Justice of Nigeria gave a directive that all courts nationwide should be on lockdown. I stepped out to check the level of compliance to the CJN's instructions, and my first port of call was the Supreme Court. I was accosted by security personnel of the court who were keen on knowing the reason for our visit.
Especially in a case like this that you say you come to cover.
After much questioning, I was granted access. I took a walk round the court and it was empty.
Thank you. So basically, the directive given by the CJN yesterday that all heads of court should close down the courts for 2 weeks, and this is a preventive measure against the spread of the COVID-19 that the country is currently tackling. This is the Supreme Court. As you can see, no justice of the Supreme Court is in court, or parties or litigants.
The next court I visited was a court of appeal. There were some activities here, unlike what I had encountered at the Supreme Court. A few lawyers and litigants were present in court. The justices were absent in court, but the registrar of the court told me that they had not gotten a written directive to stay at home. He said they are awaiting instructions from the president of the Court of Appeal. My last port of call was the Federal High Court, Abuja. Initially, I was not granted access as security personnel insisted that the court was not seated. I was determined to see things for myself. After much persuasion, I was allowed to go in. The Federal High Court has a total number of 10 courtrooms. I took a tour around the various courtrooms. The courtroom of Justice Okon Abang was empty, except for registrars of the court who told me that they are acting on the instructions given by the CJN. The courtroom of Justice Ahmed Mohammed was also empty. Justice Taiwo's courtroom was locked, as was that of Justice Nkoyi Meha. But Justice Inyang Eko had delivered the judgment today before our arrival at the court. Other courtrooms were closed. The federal government, comprising of the Ministry of Health, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, and the Presidential Task Force, is doing everything humanly possible to ensure that the spread of COVID-19 is contained. As citizens of Nigeria, it is important we play our own role by helping the government stop the spread of this virus. Self-isolation is advised, and observing the policy of physical and social distancing, and also endeavor to report any suspected case of the COVID-19 to the NCDC by calling the toll-free number put out. Celestina Ira, TVC News, Abuja.